Ah,
Right,
Karen, nice to see you
I'm
again.
on now.
Been a long time. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
anyway, good evening, everybody.
Will Patricia be joining us? Good evening, everybody. Well, I should
Good
say good
evening.
morning
No,
here.
Oh,
it's just us, Gin. Gin, it's just us. But anyway, good evening, everybody.
good evening,
Why is-
everyone.
Why is there
Good
an
morning,
echo?
good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world.
Is it me? Am I echoing?
I don't know. I'm just behind. I've actually spoken and finished, and then I hear myself speak. But anyway, we're here today with Gin and Amy, and we're waiting for
Okay.
Cece
Yeah.
to
Hi
join
there,
us.
everybody.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Ohayo gozaimasu. That means good morning here in Japan, because it's morning.
Oh,
Yeah, we've got Amy from America. I'm in the UK, and Gin is in Japan.
Yeah, I'm from the UK, but I'm from the UK, but I'm talking to you from Japan. All right. Bit of an anomaly there.
Yeah. So you were talking.
Yeah, I was just asking Amy whether she knew Marilyn's spirit level over at the US. You know, she's a pretty good flat earther, and she presents the flat earth truth very well. You know, and I thought she might have known her.
no, I had never had the pleasure to meet her, but I understand that she's but from what you told me, Jen, that she's very just awesome as far as how she's promoting the flat earth movement.
Yeah. She's definitely a champion on your
Yes.
side. I would strongly recommend you look at her videos. Every single one of them is a gem.
Yes.
You know, second to none, especially from a female point of view. She's so the tenacity. Her tenacity. She's always polite. Sometimes she gets held abuse, but she rebuts sometimes. But generally, she turns it around as a joke and carries on delivering. She's really good.
Yes,
really good.
I have to check her out for sure. Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
you'll enjoy it. Over a cup of tea. Definitely
yes.
worth
That sounds great. I'm glad you told me about her.
Oh,
I would definitely check that out. Check her out. Yeah, because
you're telling me you were telling me earlier that you came into this flat earth realization purely by instinct.
yes, purely by instinct.
Intuition.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah, it just occurred to me. I was just thinking things over a couple of years ago, and it just occurred to me that I said it to myself. I don't think that we're living on a globe. I just think it really is a flat earth, like they used to say. And then I just kind of put it out of my mind because I thought I was probably wrong. I wasn't trusting my instinct. And then I just found out looking at stuff on YouTube that there are people that do believe in it, but I didn't get to meet anybody that really believed in flat earth until I met Karen on her other channel that she has, the Unscrambled channel, and we were talking for almost a year now, and we became really good friends, and she was explaining to me about the flat earth, and I was already open to it, so she just explained some things to me, and so I became a full-fledged believer now. So but yeah, I'm new, and I'm the only one in my family, and I can't push it too much because these young people today, they almost get upset if you try to tell them it's something different, so I have to kind of lay low with it.
Well,
so
I think
it's good to know about.
No, please go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, so I'm glad to hear about Marilyn
Spirit
level. Okay.
Now, spirit level is like a carpenter's tool and an engineer's tool. What we use to measure things and be sure that they're level when we're building. That's what she called herself, Marilyn Spirit Level. Okay, as in the horizon being spirit level. Okay,
yes.
If you hold a spirit level to an image of the horizon, it's level. There's no curvature there.
Right.
Yeah. And she is definitely a champion. So if you're looking for somebody, a female that will from the US that's championing the
Yes.
delivery of the flat Earth truth, then Marilyn Spirit Level's at the spearhead of that for sure.
Oh,
In the
that's
UK,
great to know.
in the UK, we've got as the female, we've got Roxanne Glenn from the Globe Live Tour. She's a champion for the flat Earth here on the
Yes.
female side. Okay.
Oh, what about?
Right.
What about? Oh yeah, on the actual. You mean like people going out to talk to people? To say,
Yes,
what about Aging?
activists.
Back to back.
Karen, well, Karen is there on the Hangouts here on YouTube and also at Speaker's Corner, because you were there last 2 Sundays ago, weren't you, Karen?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Speaker's Corner. That's in the UK. In the UK, there is a place we call Speaker's Corner, and anybody who's got any kind of point of view, free speech, right there, shout out as loud as you like, whatever you feel is going on in the world today, basically. Hot debates.
Oh, that's a great idea. We don't really have anything like that here in the States and in America.
Oh, we just lost Amy. She'll be back. Oh. There's an empty Hangout right now with nobody on it except me. I've got to wait for them to come back.
And then there's
Yeah. One is to record and one is to talk.
Right.
So the one I'm talking on isn't recording. But anyway, you want to... All right, she's coming back.
Well, basically, hey, welcome back, Amy.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, you got thrown off, Amy.
Hey. Oh, someone else has joined us as well.
Oh, it's
Cece. Hey, CCC.
Hey, what's going on? Who's this?
Jin.
Hey, who's here, right, is Jin, Amy, and me. Jin's English, she lives in Japan. Obviously me, and Amy's American, and she lives in America near you, not too far from you.
Yeah.
Excellent. How you doing, guys? How are you?
Nice to meet you, Cece. A pleasure.
Nice,
indeed.
Nice to meet you too. My pleasure too, as always.
Yes. You.
Can I ask you a question, Cece? I just asked Amy the same question about how she came into the realization of this flat Earth. And Amy says it basically woman's instinct. She got there by instinct. Amazing, right? How about you? How did you get to the flat Earth?
See, now that's exactly what I've been saying on my channel. You don't feel that movement at all. You don't. I mean, you look right, and yeah, instinct, absolutely.
Is that how you came to the realization, really? Sorry, CC, is that how you came to the realization? Through your instinct?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm in the elevator right now. I'm just going downstairs. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
The coronavirus. She's rolling her little thing. Nobody's sick here that I see in my building. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's just such. Don't get me started on this.
I know. I feel the same way.
It is horrible that so much is used to push this to change it for martial law and all this kind of stuff when we all thought it was going to be done like through laws and everything. It's going to be done through this instead.
Exactly, Karen. And not only that, they're impacting businesses. Right. And that's what really bothers me is because of recession-proof businesses
it's affecting me and my work. I think because of the job I do, I'm the last, I'm like the first one out. And then when all these people are hearing of all this doom and gloom, I'm the first one out. It's just like one after the other. These jobs, I just lost my job.
Oh, it's awful. Yeah, it's just terrible. And I don't know if any schools have closed in the United States. Have you heard, CC or anybody? Have you heard about if any schools has closed in the United States? Or, but I haven't heard anything local. they're closing the schools like they did in Japan, you know. But this thing is terrible to feed the fear and put fear in people like this. And if you're awake and you realize that that's just what it is the fear that they're spreading. And why would they want to do this to the people? That's what I would like to know, is what they're up to.
Well, they don't care about us, Amy. We're just collateral.
Amy, you're absolutely right. Yeah,
we're just collateral, though. They don't care about us. We're just an experiment.
I know, it's horrible. So wrong. I wish
you know what bothers me is. Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what? I mean, then people all of a sudden say they try to debunk the chemtrails, you know, I mean, of them spraying, and they're spraying the carnivore virus up there. No, that's incorrect. They're not doing that up there. They're doing something.
Right.
I don't know what the hell they're doing up there, but I mean, obviously, they're not spraying us with viruses, because we need to be working. We need to be functioning.
That's
we need
true.
to keep the wheel going. Okay, and then they're not going to put an end to that.
Okay.
So I'm going to debunk all that bullshit with the spraying up there. Look, they're spraying us with something. I don't know what the hell it is. I see it all the time. You see it, Japan. Yes. Tell me you don't see it out there. I mean,
do you know what? There's two things here. I've heard they're spraying us because we're getting colder, and it's to keep us warmer, because it's like radio, it's like a microwave. But the other thing as well is that the clouds used to be much higher, and now they're much lower.
Yeah, they are, Karen. They are much lower now, and I'm trying to figure that out too. I mean,
I think they're trying to bring the clouds down, so that in the end we'll be walking around in a smoggy fog.
Right. Yeah. That before, Karen. I know. I think that could be. It's really.
Who knows? Who knows what the hell
I don't think people realise how close some of those clouds are. I mean, I was on my last plane flight to Holland. I was just saying to people, "Wow, look how, you know, it looked like you could touch the ground, but we've got clouds between me and the ground." I was just going, "Look how low the clouds are."
Yeah.
You know what I love to see is when you see the different levels of the clouds, and the ceiling level of the clouds. When you see the bottom ones going right past the ones that are up on top, and then you see the chemtrails all the way up about 35,000 feet. You know, so you've got like 3 layers of clouds that are moving in opposite directions, and it's weird to see. I mean, I've tried to take pictures of it, but they don't come out right. I mean, you just can't you can't make this stuff up. I mean, you really can't.
Well, yeah, we had a beautiful where I live in Maryland, and it was beautiful, sunny and blue sky, but I did notice some chemtrails in the sky. My daughter and I were driving somewhere, and I said, "Oh, there's the chemtrails," but my daughter she's not into that kind of talk. She's 30 years old, so she
okay, she's part of the generation. Yeah, okay, sure.
She's part of that generation, and I have to just kind of keep my mouth shut with it, you know. And I said, "Oh, look at those chemtrails," and she's like, you know, she gives me that look or whatever. So I just
and you're like, "Holy shit!"
Can I just say one thing? You know that aeroplanes are condensers, and what it is some of it may not be them actually spraying us, but the aeroplanes have got this condensed cloud coming out, and then those clouds make big clouds. So it's like the aeroplanes are doing what they want. The aeroplanes are helping them create what they want, because those aeroplanes are making clouds.
Right.
So
yeah, exactly. And you know what? They'll throw a couple of them in there when they're doing the chemtrails, which are just complete. The one thing that I've noticed is and when I say they, okay, and people always ask me this question on my channel, they are people you're never going to meet. It's a small group of people that are running this world. It's not Twitter, it's not Facebook, it's not whatever. I'm just saying there are people that are running this world that are allowing this to happen. And there's nothing anybody could ever do to ever change this. It's always going to happen as long as they can get away with it. And as long as they have our money.
As long as we allow them to.
Exactly. Exactly. As long as we allow them to.
I wrote to the president, and he didn't reply.
Yeah, he's not going to
right.
reply.
He didn't even
Yeah,
see
there's
the
not
letter.
enough people awake.
He didn't even see the letter.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, oh my God, look at this. I'm looking at a moon right now that is just unbelievable. I don't know what time it is over where you guys are, but I mean, the moon is just unbelievable right now. It just looks so
do you know
flat.
what I see? I see when the moon comes up and it's not too high, it's coming up
Yeah.
below the clouds, and then it
It's a
goes
quarter.
too high, and then it goes into the clouds and we lose it.
Yeah, and you can, oh man, you know what? This really pisses me off even more. I mean, I've seen videos with the sun and clouds behind it. You know, I mean, if you really look close, you can see that there are clouds behind the sun. And I'm like, fuck. Pardon my French.
Right.
I mean, you can evidently
I
see
think
this.
the sun and the moon are very high, to be honest, myself. Some people are like, I had a hangout with Wide Awake, and he's saying, of course those clouds aren't behind the sun. You know, the sun is burning through the light layers of cloud. That's what he said on this hangout. But I see it that they're not high enough. They're like cloud height.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing too. I mean, you know, hold on one second. Let me just go into the store. I have to get some milk. Just give me a second.
We're out in New York. We're with Cece in a store in New York. But yeah, do you think that? That's what I think. I just don't think they're very high at all, the sun and the moon.
I don't either. Right. I don't either.
It's a little bit hard to say exactly where they are, but I don't think they're very high at all.
The usual number that comes up is around 3,000 miles or less. Is what we have using the corpuscular rays of the sun and basic trigonometry.
It is above, the sun is above the blue sky. The blue sky goes up to about 10 miles, but when you're up there with a high altitude balloon, you can see the sun in front of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's not right up there in the black and way up there. It's sort of, you're sort of now level with the sun about 10 miles up.
Yes, that's right. And they say 93 million miles is what they tell us.
Yeah, 9.3, you mean?
Or, yeah, right. 9.3 million miles.
Yeah, 9.3, I reckon.
No,
and the moon is
93 million, isn't it?
To be 260.
93 million.
That's 2.6 then. That's 2.6 miles up.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? The numbers that they throw.
Yeah, and I think it's really sad that we're in the dark and that we don't know and that we're not learning more about the place we live. You know, the whole thing's not going on. We're just not learning anything, and we're just people are getting frustrated because people want to know more and understand more, and there isn't enough. There's just us doing it.
That's right.
Yeah, but we are the beginning of this. This is what happens. Slowly but gradually, people will come to the understanding that we're living on a level plane. It's happening. All the activists out there are doing a tremendous job in getting the news out. You know, we had that Globe Live tour of the UK back in.
So we're still in the shop with Cece, I think.
Yeah, back in 2018. Then we had the Globe Live tour last year, together with Europe tour as well. So that's going to go a long way into starting this awakening.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we heard a lot of that, CC.
Did you hear the conversation I had with the guy with the hand sanitizer situation here in Westchester County?
No,
everybody's out of it. He was getting $20 for a drop of hand sanitizer. He was just joking. He was just joking though. But I mean, still, it's gotten that ridiculous. It's gotten that.
It
bad.
is. It has. Absolutely. I totally agree. It's absolutely ridiculous. The world with a lie.
Well, if anybody's interested, if anyone's interested,
you just said it, Karen.
If anyone's interested, there is a very good video on the YouTube. It's only 12 minutes long, by a Dr. John Bergman. Dr. John Bergman, and the video is called "I'm Not Afraid of the Coronavirus."
Oh, that sounds
excellent. I got to download. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It basically, it's an advisory. Don't panic. What to do? 12 minutes. and it tells you the exact thing what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, and all it is just exactly, and all it is, and any doctor will tell you, it's just an intense. I mean, it's just an intense case of the flu.
We did
You
say
know?
that, didn't we, Cece? We talked earlier on, and I said to you a few weeks, well, about a month ago now. Amy knows I did.
Yeah.
But I had this sort of flu. Well, I had a cold thing, but I just felt like we've got two inner voices, and I lost one. I was a bit, you know, I just couldn't think.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
And around the same time, I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't think the same. Like I was a bit. I felt so ill inside, and I thought there wasn't this other voice. It had gone.
Yes, I remember that, Karen, when you,
Yes,
when you
I might have
that.
had it. I'm clear now, though. I'm not going to breathe over you, but I'm clear.
Yeah, no, Karen. You know, you know, I remember we spoke about this, and I emphasize with this because I had the same situation here in where I live. Where I mean, there was I forget it. It must have been about 6 months ago, 5 months ago, or something. I just for 2 days I lost my voice. Not to a point where I couldn't speak, of course. It was just all crackly. It just wasn't right, and my thinking wasn't there either. I had nothing to.
But we don't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
You know, this could be 5G. It could be anything.
Yeah, it could be
That's
anything.
right.
Who knows? I have no idea. I'm not a loss for words.
I know.
Obviously. I mean,
Well, I'm not usually, but I felt like, oh, what happens if it doesn't come back? I won't be able to do Hangout.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, I'm glad I'm here. I appreciate you having me, Karen. Of course.
Oh, it's a pleasure, my darlings, all of you.
Yeah, I'm a fan of your
yes.
work as well. I always say he's always in his car.
Thank you.
He's
Thank you. I
always in his
appreciate
car.
it.
Yeah, if people don't understand, Cece gets in his taxi and he goes out driving and he talks to you.
Oh.
Well, it's not a taxi, but it's an ambulance. But it's all right.
All right,
it make a difference. And now, you know what? I'm usually when I'm making my videos, I'm driving. Depending on what car I'm in, because we own so many cars in the company. If you see the car with the sunroof on it, that's my car. That's my own personal car.
Okay.
All right, just to let you know.
Oh. So
I'm probably.
What's your channel called, Cece?
CC. That's
Okay, there you go. That's
Cece.
easy. Thank you. Yes, I'll subscribe. I hadn't seen any of your videos before.
There's quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Sounds
Well,
awesome.
what it is like Jin though as well probably. Cece hates NASA.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Actually, the best way to find, I think, CC Flat Earth is probably just type C-C and Flat Earth.
Okay.
You'll find me. I'm right there, the guy with the gray hair.
Oh, okay. How about you, Jim? Do you have a channel?
Not really, no.
Okay.
No, I don't really have a channel.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, Jimmy, you got to open up a channel. Come on, I'll sub in 2 seconds. Come on.
We all have a channel. We just
yeah,
don't
but he
all
comes
make
on
videos.
Hangouts, don't you, Jin? He comes on my
Yeah,
Hangout.
I'm always on everybody else's channel, motivating and promoting it there. And I'm on Discord, I'm on Hangout, so I'm everywhere. I'm on all the channels, believe you me.
Yeah.
You know, on the Hangout, on the chat room.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a bunch of warriors.
That's it. That's what we are. We are the. I think the last generation.
Probably so. I know the way it's going.
Yeah, you think that because the younger ones think so differently, you mean, and what they're given.
Yes.
Yeah, they're lost. They don't know. They're too busy looking at a computer game, and that's not wrong. I mean, because my daughter likes to play the computer games too, and that's fine. But when you start doing that and you become a computer programmer or anybody in that type of field, you'll figure out that the Earth is flat because that's how a computer game is made.
Yes.
Wow.
Everything's flat on
Yeah,
every
because the computer
single
game
thing.
comes up in front of you, just like the land does for us. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. And that's why I have no problem her playing computer games. That's fine. Go ahead, play Pac-Man if you want. Everything's flat.
For example, becoming a pilot as well, it's in the manual, isn't it? That if those who are going to become pilots, the instruction manual it
Yeah.
states that in the first paragraph that they have to assume that the Earth is a level plane.
Yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
It says it right
And
there.
do you know
Talk to any
what? It's
pilot.
in
No,
all the NASA stuff as well. If you go and look at documents they've released, they say flat Earth all over it.
yeah.
Wow.
Flat
All their
Earth.
it's
So it's flat Earth, and they turn it into a ball.
Yeah.
And I just hope people
Yeah.
don't get it, because the more people that get this, the quicker we're going to
That's
change things.
right.
Wake up. If we don't,
it's just
we're just going to carry on the same way.
That's
Let me give
right.
you the title of a document that I'm looking at. I've been looking at recently, right? And it states, right, optimal guidance laws development for advanced launch systems on flat Earth.
Wow.
NASA documents. NASA.
And do you know something else that's really chronic? I do remember this. This was a video of Mark Sargent's, and it was a while ago. But he had a person off a ship, and what it was is this person was explaining that the tanks had the same sort of guns as they do on the ships. They just moved them, the battery, they moved it from tanks to ships. They didn't think of curvature and stuff like that. You know, when they
of
fire
course not.
missiles,
Yeah.
they don't think, hey, I've got to add the curvature of the Earth to my missile firing. They just fire those, home in on that target, fire.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's right.
They've gotten sloppy,
Yeah.
and I love it when they get sloppy.
Right.
It's really easy to find everything.
That's right.
That's why we haven't seen really very little from ISS or any. They're never going to do a live footage
How
anymore of.
can they? It's all
They
just,
can't.
it's all just like, it's just, you know, if you watch the news and you know that whatever they're doing in NASA, they're doing on the news, and you can see it, and those that are awake can see it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I see. Even with us, we've had a case on Unscrambled channel to do with the Watts case. And a lot of people have seen that that's not, there's something wrong with that.
Yes.
You know, they just basically behind the scenes, they're making program upon program upon program for the program for us.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, you can see the edits on all of the ISS. It must take them probably, my guess, you know, you might see the live feed with, you know, whatever astronaut that's in front of there bouncing around eating beans and shit like that. But I mean, it probably takes them like a, you know, good month to actually edit one of these things, or a week or something like that. Because
but you know what? Listen, CC, I put a video on Unscrambled. Amy might be able to explain it quicker and better than me. It came from 1968. This guy gets interviewed. It's got Donald Sullivan in it, and basically he's coming in for an interview, and then they say, well, actually what we've done is we know you've had an affair and you've got a bug in you, and so basically you've got to do what we want. But they take him in this room and they say basically what it is it's 1968 and they're making the news 5 years ahead. So that's what happens. They're making it years ahead.
Yeah. That was the guy. Oh, I forget that actor. He was in James Bond movie. Yes. I saw it. They had a lot of balls.
The Newsbenders. That's the
name of it.
Exactly.
Yes. That's it.
I mean, for that decade, they had a lot of balls bringing that out. You know, but nobody knew.
I know.
They had no idea. You know, that's the truth. That's what they're doing.
Maybe to people watching, they thought this is quite sci-fi and whatever. But when you look at it now and you realise they were making, you know, he said, well, with what it is we're making the news 1 year ahead, but this is 3 years ahead or whatever it was. And it's like, this is what they're doing to us today. There it is, 1968. Showing us what they're doing to us today.
And
I know.
But the perfect thing about it is, if you look at the time period between that, when they actually figured out that the Earth was flat. Okay, I mean, which was obviously back in the 50s, you know, probably the early 60s, 69 or something like that, when they actually figured it out. All of this stuff was pumped out in Hollywood.
Right.
And it's amazing how the programming began, you know, and you'll see it in the movies, you'll see it in the advertisements, you'll see it in everything, you know, because they look, oh my God, what is the thing that they did with the atomic bombs that they blew the dome with? They tried to do it for like, I don't know, 5 years. They were blasting stuff up to the dome. and they called it something specific.
Oh, Operation Starfish Prime.
Exactly. There it is. Okay.
1962.
Okay, so they had to figure out how high this thing is.
Yeah.
You know, because if they're going to launch something up there, they want it to turn. And everybody doesn't understand why everything fucking, pardon my French again, can't help it, turns.
Yeah.
You know, why do all these rockets turn? Why are they doing that?
Right.
They should be going straight up.
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah, I've got a really good part of this, because someone came on a Hangout the other day, and what it is down, they always say the rockets are going downwind, and when you're in the military, downwind just means straight ahead and along.
Yeah,
And then when you watch,
that's
all
right.
you've got to do is go to those NASA pictures, and they show you the rocket going up, and then
and it curves.
down.
All of
Nobody
it goes up.
and nobody's noticing, except us, of course, the ones that are woken up. But a lot of people will look at that and think that that's the rocket going into space. But no, it's just coming down.
It's going into the ocean. There's nobody in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Watch Capricorn 1. It's true. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's absolutely true.
Well, my daughter and I were just watching Apollo 13 last night, and
Yep,
I have
there you
seen
go.
it before, and you know, knowing what I do now, but I just had my mouth shut, and we were just watching it and everything, and I just think it's such a part of the culture, and it's in the movies and everything, and I thought, look at those astronauts, and they're showing them, you know, bouncing around, and if they can do that for a movie, they can just do that and show it as like a real thing as well, you know, like from the ISS space station, and we were just watching it, and it's a great movie, but in its own way, but when I know that it's not even true, but then at the end when the astronauts got home safely, I still teared up. I couldn't help it. I was like, oh, they made it when the little parachutes came down, and now we're waiting. I'm like, and none of this is even true, but I'm sitting there with little tears in my eyes and getting choked up, just caught up in the emotion.
Do you know what I think though, Amy? I think that say they did come down like that, I don't think it would be a very nice journey coming down through the atmosphere in that little thing. They'd be burnt up. They'd be burnt up. And then and coming into Earth's atmosphere, and then coming down like they're going extremely fast, and then a parachute. I just think the whole thing would be. By the time they got to the people, they'd be burnt and dead.
I know.
Exactly. Has anybody here ever been on a parachute? Have you ever been on anything?
I have,
you know how bad that thing falls down? I mean, you're talking about. Yeah, exactly. I mean, being in a space shuttle, first off, which has got to be what? I mean, that thing must weigh like 10,000 pounds, and being held up by 2-3 parachutes and coming crashing down into the ocean, you wouldn't bounce around inside of there and bang your head against something?
We're the astronauts. They'd be going, don't touch the metal, don't touch the windows, don't touch anything. They'll be red hot.
It's so tight in there. It's very, very tight in that little capsule. I mean, the lunar module.
Oh, exactly.
The lunar module, if they were suited up, they couldn't get out the hatch. They were too small with their suits on.
And not only that, when they go for their spacewalk, none of them ever mention about their air.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, none of them ever look at some kind of panel on their arm or anything like that that signifies how much air they have. I would be the most concerned about any air at all whatsoever if I was walking out in the middle of fucking space.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to die out here.
How's your air supply?
But yet,
how's your air
not one of them ever mentioned. Okay,
my
air is.
Worried about? I'd be going, I'm in this thing that I can't bend my fingers properly, and I've got to hold on to it.
Okay, what about
exactly.
But not mentioning the fact. Not mentioning the fact that they were going to go through 2 radiation belts, right? And you know for sure.
Oh, don't get me started with that.
Radiation belts, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. So you're gonna have a countdown before you get in, right? And as they enter it, then you're gonna have a 2-hour, and you're going to be checking periodically that they're all right as they exit the first valent radiation belts, and then there's a gap, and then there's another second layer of radiation belts. So they have to go through, transverse through, and not one mention of this.
Not a mention at all. Not a single mention at all. And that's a really, I mean, astounds me. Is if you ask any astronaut, my question is, are the radiation belts poisonous? Because apparently we've heard they are, but we've managed to go in and out of them 15 or 16 times now, and not a single astronaut's ever had a case of cancer.
Well, you know what they say now? If you listen to NASA, they go, well, we've gone as far as the Van Allen belt. That's it. They never say, well, they've only been as far as the Van Allen belt.
That's right.
Now, so
and the thing is, the Orion, they're working on the new moon landing missions are going to be taking place, they reckon, 2024, but they've since moved it to 2028.
That's right, 2024. That's right. That's the date. You're absolutely right, my friend.
From 2026 to 2033. But the problem is, they said Orion, they're having difficulties preparing the shield that's going to go through the Van Allen radiation belts. That's a stumbling block. They're having difficulties.
Right.
They've only been as far as low Earth orbit, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Well, we never seem to have a problem with that, and especially with the technology back in 1969.
Yes.
So why all of a sudden is it an issue?
When we went up there
my question.
When we went up there with tin foil and plastic and stuff.
Exactly.
Tin foil and tape.
Glorified ski suits. Yeah.
It's so bad. It just gets worse. It really is unbelievable. And I don't even know how to tell people this, but I mean, once you unravel all of this, it just goes so deep beyond anything you could possibly imagine, beyond any science fiction movie you've ever seen before. You're going to go down that rabbit hole, and you're going to get into, I mean, that's it. You're going to find out you're going to be the smartest person in the world. And that's what I tell people. That's it. I mean, nobody knows this. We seem to be the only people who know about this, and your journeys, and they continue.
To be is we're laughing. We're laughing.
Yeah,
that's all we can do. I mean, we can't get mad about it because we're real people. I mean, we're not. I mean, you're like me, Karen, Amy. I mean, you understand that. Look, this is just a complete joke, and we're not going to get mad. We're not going to get angry about it. We're going to deal with it and just try to spread the word out to others. And I'm not going to argue with somebody.
Exactly.
That's it.
All we can do for now is just spread the news. But I'm not prepared to take any insults over it. I'm not taking any insults. Somebody insults me, I insult them back. You know, I'm going to say, yeah, well, yeah, you go back to school, you retard. You know.
Imagine how many people have got into space and have pictures on their walls of the planets and space rockets and all that. It's just awful. They've romanticized space.
Yes.
Like there's space.
Exactly.
You're absolutely
yes.
that is an interesting way of putting it, Karen. You're romanticizing space.
Space rockets. And the only space is outside your house and as far up as we can go.
It's right here. Just go outside. Look.
New definition of space. Space is the gap between the ears of a heliocentric believer.
There you go.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think maybe a lot more people might believe, but what do you do with it? Where do you go? There's nowhere to report it. There's no one to help.
That's right.
I know. And that's what I go through every day. And I can see people are waking up around here. I mean, I see people giggling when I'm driving around because I have a vanity plate. And, I mean, I can see people are waking up around Westchester County, which I think New York State, I think is probably the most indoctrinated state in the freaking world. As far as I'm concerned, it's number one of trained rats. I mean, all you got to do is just say there's a snowstorm coming, and you're not going to get any. Yeah, forget it. Bread, milk, butter, it's all going to be sold out. So.
Yeah.
Well, just a big shout out to all the activists out there. Just a big shout out to all the activists there who are actually working, long hours to try and promote the flat Earth truth. We've had a recent comeback. Robert Vassano, Planete Veritas. His news channel is Planete Veritas 4.0, and he came back a couple of weeks ago, I would have to say. He's put up a couple of videos. Keep an eye out for that, because he's back with more news, more impact, and generism and the like. ODD, the Discord. Just a big shout out to all those Globe Light Tour people Thanks for all the work you're doing. Dave Weiss, you know.
And I have to say
all on the
thank you.
plane.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's right.
Got to say
Yeah, and
thank you
so
to all of those people.
thank you,
You know
Cece,
who you
Jin, and
are,
Amy.
people.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
D Marble,
thank
please.
and
Massive shout out to you guys for all the work you're doing. CC himself, Amy,
oh,
Karen, yeah, thank you very much. Humanity will
yes,
be indebted to you
thank
later on. You watch
that's
when they look back.
oh, I
They'll
hope
look back and they'll
so.
see us here talking about it.
Yes,
We're making history. That's all we're doing
right,
right now. I mean, we are
right,
making history.
absolutely.
That's
I don't know
right.
how they're going to find us. They're going to find us somehow or
Yes,
another, somewhere
they're going to
recorded.
find us.
We're on the
Eric
internet.
Dubay, Eric Dubay as well. Let's not forget him. And D Mogul, he did some good stuff. There's lots of people out there who have done good work, left a good legacy. Thanks very
Yes,
much. That's all I can say. You know,
Yeah,
you
no,
will be
it's
that's
forgotten.
very
right.
nicely
Never will
said.
be forgotten. Never
That's
will you be
right.
forgotten. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I'm just amazed because when I first realized that I believed that the earth was flat, I just thought it was only me. I just thought, well, you're just thinking something. I just didn't, because we just don't hear about it. And then when I tried to Google about it, you can only find things that are against the flat earth movement. But then, like I said, when I met Karen, and then I'll never forget that Karen said, please don't think any lower of me, Amy, but I am a flat earther. And that's how you said it, Karen, because you
Well
didn't
done.
know
Well
about
done,
me. So,
Karen.
right, so she says, please don't think any lower of me, but I am a flat earther. And I was like, oh, I was like right away interested because I had already been thinking about it myself. And then she was able to clear up any questions that I had and everything. So, but it's a shame that, you have to feel that way, like even begin to apologize for your viewpoint or whatever,
I don't think
because,
people understand when we use those words. It's not just to me about the shape of the land. It's about all the lies. It's about history. It's about
yes,
education, medication. It's about
right.
Tartaria.
That's,
It's about everything.
Yeah,
Everything fits it for
and
me.
the
Yeah.
financing. Remember, people say it's not the money, but it is the money because the debt that is being amassed for
Oh,
the
yes,
generation yet to come is a crime
it
yeah.
in
is.
I
itself.
mean, it's beyond belief here in this country.
Yes.
I mean, it is
Yes,
just
Imagine
trillions
that
and
50 odd
trillions.
thousands a day, 50 odd thousand, 50 odd $1 million a day.
$57
What
million
Yeah.
a
what
day
that
every
could
day.
do for an economy if you put that in it to
right.
people.
It would run a
Mad.
country as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the amount of money that's being wasted and pissed away in this country could run an entire new country. I mean, on
Yeah.
a daily basis.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I
I,
mean,
So,
look at the US's military defense budget is 5 times that of the whole world combined. The rest of the world combined, the US spends 5 times more. That's
And do you
mad.
know what's really weird? They've got all these bases everywhere, and they're always talking about arguing with Russia. Yet there's nothing between Alaska and that strait there, whatever strait that is to Russia. There's nothing
Yeah.
there.
No
right.
and
barrier, no
that's the
fence,
stupid
nothing.
thing about it is that everybody says Russia's against America. Russia of any country is with America. I mean, Russia
Yeah.
was one of the first countries to ever sign the treaty. You know, once they
That's
passed that treaty down at the Antarctica, the Antarctica Treaty, they
Yeah, I
were the
told
And
first
not
ones
just
in the
that,
league.
so
came
we're
into
at
power
peace.
1961, signed 1958, 59.
We're at peace in
Exactly.
space, and we're at peace in Antarctica with everybody.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And everybody,
absolutely.
and like, like if they want to kill each other, why don't they just point guns over that strait and just do it? Do it. Go on, get on with it. Leave us all alone then.
That's right.
They're
I'm
not, but
surprised
they're
if you
not
even went
really
to.
enemies. They're not really
Yeah,
No,
enemies.
because they're not. No,
no,
they're
no.
all working together.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every country's working together. They've all signed a treaty, and there's not even a question of it until 2041. I mean, it's not even going to be rewritten until that time. There's not going to be a World War III. If
No, and they're
anything,
never
is going
going
to
to include us. Then are they, though, Cece? Even
no,
at that point,
that'll
just
never
another
happen.
treaty will turn up for another 150 years.
Yeah.
exactly. No, there's no reason to go build a bunker somewhere and hide underneath your house. You're not going to have to worry about that. The only thing, probably, what you're going to have to worry about in the future is diseases like what's impacting us right now.
Yeah.
All they have to
Yes.
do
What
is just
about,
say this one little thing.
sorry to change the subject, what about the censorship of the flat earth truth that's happening on
Right.
YouTube at the moment? You know?
I've
Yes.
already done a
Well, you
video
know
on
what
that.
that's about? Google are taking over YouTube, and then when you talk to anybody, you're talking to Google Chat.
Yeah,
So, and what
Google
did
Right.
took
Google
over
do?
2
The
years ago.
ball, the ball.
Yes.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah,
now we've
exactly.
got
Because
Exactly,
YouTube
Karen.
like the television. In fact, there's more adverts on YouTube than I think there is the television.
Oh,
I
yeah, it's
it's
know.
annoying.
unbelievable. You've got a generation of people that are not using TV anymore. There's no TV. My
Yeah.
daughter doesn't even know what commercials are. Okay.
Well.
I mean, really. I mean, she has no idea what a commercial break. What are you talking about? There's a part 1 and a
Oh.
part 2. Remember when we were watching Star Trek? They would put part 1 and part 2. You wouldn't see it till next week.
Right.
You know,
Right.
there's nothing like that anymore. It's now instant information, and that's what these children
Well,
are
instant
learning.
deception.
Yeah,
Instant deception information, please. That's what it is, isn't it?
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
That's right.
with that being said, you know, the YouTube censoring the flat Earth now. Anyone typing in flat Earth, you get a whole load of, and like Amy said, negative, anti-flat Earth. The Earth isn't flat videos,
Yes.
debunking, trying to debunk the flat Earth. It's just
But they
rubbish,
can't.
okay? You know, it's just a joke. But for anyone who's really interested in finding the flat Earth and want to experience what we experienced back in 2015, 2016, and 17, go to Discord. That's where I'm at the moment. Discord. Download the
Oh
Discord
yeah, I know him.
app.
Yeah. I know
Right,
him. Yeah.
right. Download the Discord app, join in the debates, and you will learn very quickly about the flat Earth and how it's a level plane. Right? There's debates going on, 24/7 debates, and they've got an
Cool.
archive of all the videos that we've watched. They've archived it, so you can go there. Go to Discord. It's the place to go to for your information on the flat
Okay.
Earth. It's the
I
Yeah.
just
one-stop
hope people
place.
are.
Discord, fantastic.
Yes.
I've seen it. I've definitely seen that,
Yeah,
and I just hope people can find this. And again, what I'm saying right now is we're making history. You
yeah,
know,
we
I
are.
mean, that's it. I mean,
Yeah,
Yes.
all of
and
this
then
stuff
there's
we put out
sorry,
there.
there's one more. I've just remembered. Dave Weiss, with Curious J, Crow 777, I think it is. It's called the Flat Earth Podcast. That one is excellent. Download the podcast, and when you're doing your cleaning, you're driving somewhere, doing, you know, you're not busy moment, having a cup of tea. Listen, there's about around about 30 odd episodes. Are very good, all to do with the flat Earth.
And don't
Exactly
forget
what we're
about
talking about.
Yeah, and
don't forget about.
sometimes some of those people come on Sun and Moon or
That's
Unscrambled,
right.
That's
whichever
right.
one.
I know. David has, and don't forget about David Weiss's clock, flat Earth
Oh
clock.
yeah, the Sun and Moon
Either
clock.
that app, you know, put that in there
One of
too.
the best clocks ever made.
Yeah.
There you go.
Best clocks
That's
ever
just something
made.
you put on your phone. People ask questions, and there you go.
Mind you,
You heard
I
it here
did
on
a
Sun and
video the
Moon
other
Family
day,
United.
right? I did a
You heard it
video
here
the
on
other
Sun and
day.
Moon Family United.
I,
Yeah.
I put a video out the other day that I actually think that saw this Four Rivers. You know the Four Rivers that they do with that piece of land, you know, the round bit with the
Yeah.
Four Rivers.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
talking about
What
this
it
earlier.
is,
Yeah.
Greenland is only a little bit bigger than the UK. And what it is I don't know how they've done it, but they've included the Four Rivers, and the Four Rivers and Greenland make Greenland now.
Wow.
Yeah. That's right.
So the North Pole is on Greenland.
Well,
Right.
yeah.
Which makes it just doesn't. I mean, you look at these pictures from space, you're like, what? Africa's the size of the entire Earth.
Yeah.
They're publishing these pictures, and people don't see that what the continent of Africa is the entire, left side of Earth, and now it has to revolve. Now you're going to see the U.S. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah, no.
And you never, ever, ever see these satellites or the
Never,
ISS
never,
or
and you
the
won't.
Right.
or the
Most of it's in
Kepler
a balloon.
telescope. You don't see any of these, right?
No.
That's right.
And you know,
Do you know how they've
the
done it though? I've
largest
told you,
mass.
it's like that film in 1968 when they were saying about the fact that they were going to sort of I think they were going to drop a nuclear bomb on some other place in in Japan, whichever
Right.
place it was. And then he said to him, well, how are you going to get away with that? And he said, well, you can't go there. It's cold, blah, blah, blah. And this is why we can't just say, hey, let's just go over there and have a look for ourselves. So they can get away with it. They can get away with all these things because they just tell you it. We're never going to go to China or Japan. I know you're there, Jin, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Generally, none of us want to go to these places. So that's how they do it. They just say it's happened and everybody believes it.
Yeah, there was that Scandinavian, his name was Joey Vanderweil, I think his name was. And he went out on a ship to Antarctica and he got marched back, arrested twice.
Oh, man.
He got arrested and marched
to
South America.
And do you know what? Those Targaryen maps, they used it for Elizabeth I. It was on a programme. That's where I saw them, right? It just interested me. But there's loads of islands which they don't talk about between like down past England going off to America. There's loads of little islands, you know, like the size of the Isle of Wight. They look like they're everywhere, but they're not mentioned on the globe now.
No, that's where they're hiding. That's their hiding places, you see.
But there's those islands, and don't forget they put the 4 rivers in Greenland and made Greenland the size of America and Canada put together. That's why, because it's got that bit in it. That's where the North Pole is.
Wow.
Karen, have you ever heard of the 1,000 Islands?
No.
Okay, there's a place up in
salad dressing.
there's a place up in Canada. I went fishing there. I mean, we're talking 30 years ago, when I was a kid, and there is an area where there are 1,000 islands that are just very, very small that nobody really knows about. I mean, you know, they're little tiny islands, you know, that you can go on and build a house. I mean, they're that big. I mean, they're, you know, about an acre and a half each. And they're right up in Canada, right at the right at the border, right there. We canoed through there. And I mean, there's so much land that they're not telling us about.
Yeah, I never heard of that either. The 1,000 Islands. But you did.
I've only heard of the salad dressing.
That's right. That's true.
That's very good.
Salad dressing.
All right.
But
you get my composure back. That was really funny.
That was.
I needed that laugh.
Me too. Oh, that's right.
Oh, it is funny, but it's not funny.
It's not.
But it is
I
funny.
know. It sucks.
It's just so annoying.
It sucks.
Yeah. It's like if you don't laugh, you'll go crazy. It's like sometimes you just have to laugh at some of it, but it really isn't funny at all. You know, I mean, it's really horrible.
As serious as it is, I mean, I told my brother that, you know, NASA made a mistake in that. The lunar, just going back to the lunar module, okay? Now, the door, the inside of that space of that lunar module is the size of 2 telephone booths. That's all you've got. 2 telephone booths of space, okay?
2 telephone booths.
Now, you think that door should open outwards, shouldn't it? But it's opening inwards, right? And then the question came, where did the other astronaut go when the door was coming in? Where would he go? Because the door couldn't come in. You see what I mean? And my brother was just falling up laughing. You know, when he heard that, he just fell about laughing. He couldn't believe that NASA would make such a schoolboy error, they called it.
I mean, they're just, you're talking about schoolboy errors. I mean, it's just left and right, and every video footage that they've ever taken, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the spacesuit alone. I mean, come on. I mean, you know, really, Elon Musk with his freaking car up.
Yes.
I mean, that right there, he lays it down. Apparently, it's still floating around up there. I mean, it's just it's like they're mocking us.
It's on its way to Mars, isn't it? It's on its way to Mars. That's where.
Yeah. It's on its way to Mars. That's right. It's going off to Mars with the paint fully intact, and the tires are fine. The windshield isn't cracked, and the paint.
And the man's still sitting there at the steering wheel.
Guess what they're saying is, right? They're saying the tires are porous. That's why they're not coming off the rims.
Yes,
Oh,
yes, and I have my trolls that say that because the PSI pressure is actually equal to the pressure out in space. What the fuck are you talking about? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Nobody knows what the pressure. You're talking about gravity. I mean, you're talking about space. You're talking about something that's going to
Right.
rip the entire atmosphere off of this entire planet if we lived on
look
one.
what's missing, right?
yeah,
They're not.
that's
They
right.
don't teach the children at school about the rotation of the Earth. They're not telling children how we
No.
get from
Did
here
you
into
know
a
about it,
vacuum.
Karen?
No,
I
we
didn't
didn't have
know
a.
about it.
No.
No, nobody did I.
Did
They
you
went
know about the
to the moon.
circumference of? Yeah,
No,
exactly. Do you know the
no,
circumference of our
no,
Earth?
No.
I mean,
no.
we were
No.
never taught any of this in school, and that was the reason. All we had was a globe in front of us, entire
Yes.
all the way up until
You
high
know what?
school.
If you did an examination today, you could pass it today. You could
Yeah.
pass right now, couldn't you? You could sit an exam and pass it.
That's right.
That's because to be who we are, we've got to learn all about the globe all over again. But when we're saying our information, no, that's not true because that's not true either. So that you
Right.
have to learn about that to talk
Yeah,
back
that's
about
right.
it, so we know more about the globe anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
more than
right.
ever now.
I mean, that is absolutely right. I mean, it's just it's crazy. I mean, it's like, man, I'm telling you. I remember a globe inside of my classroom throughout my entire scholastic years. All the way, but it stopped. I mean, you didn't go to college. There was no globe in college. It stopped right in high
Right.
school. Pretty much 11th grade, senior year, junior year, it stopped, and there it was. I mean, it was right in front of your face. But when you indoctrinate somebody that well for so many years at that young
Yeah, because
age.
don't forget as well, it's a bit like if we fly from here to America, I suppose there might not be too much of a rotation, but just say we were from Australia, they'd be going slower, faster,
Yeah.
just to keep
That's
going with
right.
the rotation. It's pathetic. It doesn't happen. Two planes cross each other the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly, Karen. I mean,
And
really.
then you've
It's
got the
just
Coriolis
absolutely
effect. What about the Coriolis
ridiculous.
effect? That
Oh
that
my God.
just wife stuff.
Oh, don't
Yeah.
get me started with that shit. Are you kidding me? All right. Fuck. I mean, really, where does it begin? Where is it? Where are the clouds? Where were we spinning? I mean, don't get. I mean, really, don't. I mean, it's like don't get any of us started on this. I mean, where is the Coriolis effect actually begin? At the bleeding point of space?
I mean, even
Or
when you're
does it begin
shooting a bullet,
35,000 feet
that would
down?
mean if say you were shooting a bullet, it's either going to make it faster or slower or something. That's what's going to happen. The bullet would be going in slow motion or even faster.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
No, I'm where is water bending? I'm
Yes,
looking at a lake right now,
that's
and I
what
see no
got
water
me to
bending.
start with. Water seeks its level. I'm sorry, level means level. It doesn't mean bending.
Right. That's right.
Go to
And
the ocean.
they always taught
Yeah,
us
stand
that,
at the sea and look out. Gives you a general idea about what it's like out there.
yeah,
You know,
oh, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. When I first got into this, it was probably 2017,
There you
2016.
go. We're all 16, 17. Oh, except
Yeah,
Amy.
16.
Amy did anyway.
I mean, it was
She didn't
around
talk
that
about
time.
it.
Yeah.
But there
I was
wasn't
alive
much
then.
out there. There wasn't much out there. I mean, there really was nothing out there in terms of the negativity that we're getting now. I mean, if you're a kid and you're looking at flat Earth right now, you're going to just find somebody debunking
Right.
total nonsense.
Yeah.
But if you really look into it, they're not debunking anything, because that's the whole thing. That's what I've told people. We can't prove it either way. You can't prove the globe, and I can't prove flat Earth. All I can do is I can give you things that don't make any sense. I can give you question marks. I can give you something that'll question what you're living on right now, which makes no sense at all, that we've been told.
That's right.
And that's what I've been telling
the
people.
anomalies in the story we've been told can be highlighted, and I do feel confident.
Story.
Yeah, I do feel confident that I can present to them the flat Earth quite easily through the lack of curvature, long distance viewing. We can see things at a greater distance. We don't experience the curvature when we fly an aircraft, right? Yeah,
That's right.
Exactly.
These are the things.
And
The Earth cannot exist in space without a barrier. Otherwise, the vacuum of space would just suck all our air out. So there's quite a lot.
Man, I
It's
mean,
just
really,
so
are
many
you kidding me?
proofs. Right.
And then I have people telling me that there's different atmospheric conditions that are going to contain what? I mean, really, no, there has to be a barrier up there. There has to be a dome. There's got to be some kind of container up there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry. There has to be a fucking container. You put a container on a cup, it's going to hold in everything, and that's what you need to create something that we live on right now, and that's it. I mean, bottom line.
I'm not sure if it's I talked to somebody a while ago, and he worked for one of the electricity companies, and they were asking him to do things, and that's when he realised that we were living on what we do, because the scalar waves go up, they come straight back down, and that'll only happen if if we're on a ball spinning through space, they'd just go off. They'd never come back, but they come straight back.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Because we're spinning.
Yeah, exactly, Karen. And that's what always disturbed me in these space shots and everything like that is when they come back into the planet. You know, how are they figuring out where they're going to land? You know.
Yeah, they have to go through that bit where they burn up. That's the bit that they can't reach.
I mean, it's always exactly. You have the Coriolis effect coming about. We're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, and how are they actually determining where they're going to land? But yet they land in Florida or they land wherever the hell they land, perfectly, or in the ocean. Okay, all right, I give it that because I mean, what is it? 75% of the Earth is made up of water, I guess. But I mean, really, I mean, it's people don't see this shit. I mean,
it is a bit frustrating that a lot of people don't understand. It is.
So why do you think why does anybody think they want us to believe in this globe? What is the agenda with everything?
Control. Like what they're doing about the other thing, which when we first started talking.
Yes.
Control. And everybody's believing it because they turn their telly on or they turn YouTube on and they're just believing it.
That's right. Yeah, so it's all...
See, Amy, I'm sorry to cut in. I love that question.
Oh, thank you.
Because I just tell people, what do you see when you drive around?
Right.
Okay, you see people controlled. I mean, they're there. They're going to work, and that's what they need. They need people going to work. They need people going out and doing and being feared about some sort of disease that's out there, and they need people trained. And that's what they've done.
Exactly, that's right. And it's just a few people that is doing this that's in the control. Just a few people, like I think you were saying at the beginning, when you say about who is they, and it's just a few people really. Then
Yeah, and they're all doing multiple roles because one minute they come out as President Trump, and the next minute they're somebody else.
Yeah, that's right.
They've got about 3 or 4 roles. I mean, even like Justin Bieber, he's a rap singer, he's a girl.
Oh, don't get me started with him. That effing. Oh, they didn't even know him. He came up with a couple of YouTube videos, for crying out loud, in New York. I mean, then all of a sudden becomes famous, and his parents. I mean, they're even more shills than you could possibly imagine. I can't even believe I'm saying that word, shills, but that's what they are.
I don't even know if Elvis Presley's real anymore. I think it was just all made for the television. Like the Monkees. The Monkees were a group made. So basically, they've told you there what they're really doing. Everything is made for us.
Yeah, Karen made some good videos about Elvis Presley and put it in the Unscrambled channel.
I mean, the guy. I thought that he was like not completely. What do you call it? He had darker skin. But you look at his hands, and his hands in the videos are completely white.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, I see so many, fallacies with his videos back initially when I was watching them. How much weight he gained and how much he changed. So you don't even know who you're really looking at
Yeah,
that
you're looking
point.
at Johnny,
But yeah.
Johnny Hara. That's what you're looking at.
I mean, it's just, yeah, and you're absolutely
Has
right,
anybody
Karen.
seen how he talks? He talks just like Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
I mean, even his face movements when he goes, well, yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, oh my God, I think that if he was a real person, say Elvis Presley, he died before they said he did, and they used Johnny Hara.
Yeah, but you know what? They needed rock and roll. They needed that rhythmic music. I was just about to upload something, and apparently there are 4 notes that are in there that were in The Shining, that are in so many movies that are around us. And I mean, I can't mimic it right now. I don't have a voice for it, but I mean, it goes da 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 da.
Yeah.
But it's in every music. It's in Frozen 2. It's in. I mean, it's in the kid shows. I'm gonna upload that video.
Frequency then. Can I ask you then? I'm gonna ask you all the question each. Amy,
kind of like a frequency.
And Jin. Why do you think that we have woken up and see it, and then many don't see it? What do you think it is that we can see right through emotion?
Yeah, can I answer that one first?
Go on, then you go first, Jin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, because it's basically on my own experience. As a child back in the 60s, I remember them going to the moon. Okay, I'd spent a lot of time in the natural environment growing up. I'd gone to Nigeria because my parents are African. We went by plane for 1.5 years. We came back by ship. That happened twice. The second time we went by ship. That ship journey was 2 weeks. So all I could see was a level horizon. Okay, so I experienced a lot of outdoors. I've been in the Army Cadets for 3 years, the Royal Engineers for 2 years, right, as a territorial army. Okay, so you're out there. So basically, I was uploading a lot of nature's clues without realizing it.
Yeah,
you see?
that's right.
So in my case, when 2015 came and flat earth recommendation videos were coming up, I ignored them all through basically 2014 halfway and all the way through 2015. I totally ignored them. And it wasn't until 2015 December, Boxing Day, that I thought, okay, let me click on this for a laugh. And I wasn't laughing. And within 5 minutes, I had this funny emotion come over me, like, how stupid have I been all these years? That's how I felt. That's why it was, for me, it was easy to come to the understanding. I'd already uploaded nature's clues in my mind, in the back of it, just didn't bring them to the forefront to join the dots. So thanks to the video content makers, helped me to join the dots. So my point being, if you grow up in a concrete jungle in a city and you don't experience nature enough, then you're not going to connect as easy. You will connect. It might take a little longer.
That's a good point. Yes.
Excellent point. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Jin. What about, I'll go to Cece next. Sorry, Amy. We'll go last. But what about you, Cece?
No, I mean, that's absolutely correct. I'm going to agree with him 100%. I mean, that's what it takes. You know, I mean, it's a journey. Yeah. And you have to go through it yourself. I mean, that's all it is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the earth is flat because I can't prove it to you. I mean, there's no way I can prove it to you. You just have to use your perspective. You've got to look at the sun. You've got to look at the moon. And you've got to think to yourself, something's not right. The stars. You just got to look. I mean, that's just look up.
Do you know what the problem is, though? You know what they've done on all these things like YouTube? They want, so basically, they put a video out. It's 30 seconds long. It goes, wham! That's it. Everybody's gone in 30 seconds. They need it in 30 seconds. Right. And with this whole thing, we need to explain it. We need to talk about it.
Yes.
It takes hours. You can't do it.
No, you can't. It takes days, hours, and almost
months. Months, literally. Come on. To really understand it. I'm still learning about atmospheric pressures and how many tours are up in space and that. Fuller understanding. So, you know.
Exactly. I mean, it's just, I could take a picture right now, send it to NASA of an orange light, and that could be a representation of Neptune. I mean, or worse, exactly.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, it's that bad.
Yeah.
It is that bad. You're right about that, CC. Amy, what about you?
Sorry,
Yes.
I have a
Well,
call
I
coming in.
just,
Just give me one.
Yeah.
I'll be back in 1 minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
go on.
Right,
You got
Amy.
I guess I just have always been such a thinking person. I think about things, and it just like I said, I was just thinking about different things one day, and it just occurred to me how do we know that we're on a globe? It just, I don't know. I was just thinking and pondering things, and it just didn't make any
Do you know
sense
what
to
I think?
me.
I
And
think I'm sitting here looking at to the east where the sun and moon come up. Oh my God, here we go! Whoosh! It doesn't happen.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't, does it? No. Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
get
it's
that
just
whoosh.
like a feel. Yeah, and it's just like a feeling you get about things, but I kind of just start waking up with the news. I just start seeing a lot of the fake news and everything, just the agendas they push, and so I was slowly waking up and seeing things that were made up. You could just tell they were not true, and the news is pushing it and everything. And then well, then
And then you find
Karen's
out they're
trying to
lying on
help
the
me.
television, they're lying
Yeah,
here, they're lying there, they're lying everywhere.
right. And then Karen was doing an Unscrambled channel about that Watts case that people were really intrigued with, and I was one of them. I got taken in by this crime case that supposedly occurred, and then Karen found all these things that were wrong with the pictures, that they were photoshopped and the film was manipulated by slowing it down. She could tell that. You could tell that, Karen, and when you showed me that, that was a big awakening too. Plus just other things too that you were finding what they was going on with all of the media and everything.
Yeah, because I found it in the Watts case, which we did
Yeah,
for a long time. And
yes,
then I changed it. I started looking at the politics and the film stars or whatever it was, or the musicians, and it's all happening in that as well.
right. So it wasn't just that one case that was like, and it was other
No, it's
crime
all of it.
cases too. And then we saw it was all of it. But I've always just had a open mind about things, and I think about things, and I can just tell if it has a ring of truth. It's almost like an intuition or something, I guess, or just I'm a very empathic person, and I can just pick up on things. I kind of have a radar or something to me that I can
You
kind
said
of
empath,
tell.
right, Amy? Does CC
Yeah.
and Jean, do you think you're empaths?
Do I think, sorry, do I think what?
Do you think you're an empath?
An empath, I don't know what that means. Sorry, explain.
An empath. Well, I don't know how to explain it. Just
It's
very.
like you're very feeling of things, like for example, you like when we have empathy for other people, you can sort
Yeah.
of just
Yeah.
feel what another person, you can read their emotion, or you could even
Oh, I'm
physical
very sensitive
things. If
like that,
somebody
yes.
starts,
I would,
yeah,
yes, I
yeah, then
have been
that's
since
like
my
a,
childhood. I've always been like that since my
yes, me
childhood.
too.
Yeah, a perfect example
Yes,
would be
same with
some of the
me.
friends that I had at school were the ones that were being bullied because I stopped the bullying. You see, I
Oh,
stopped them from being bullied, and then they became my friends. You know,
oh, that's awesome. Yes,
CC's back
yeah.
now.
that's how it is.
CC,
Okay, sorry.
what about you then? Do you feel you're an empath?
Oh, I'm
Empathetic,
sorry.
yeah.
I missed that whole part of the conversation.
Sorry, do you feel that
Oh,
you're an empath? An empath? Do you feel you're sensitive to other people?
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely.
So it's obviously
yeah.
it's got to be some. The other thing I wondered was maybe maybe we're all slightly autistic or something. Like we're just on a different frequency or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
I
must
mean,
admit,
Yeah, it's
even though I am an empath, I'm empathetic to other people. I can be the opposite just as well. So if somebody insults me, I can insult them and get to them as much as they try and get to me. Do you know what I mean? It works both ways for me on that scale.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's a big flip. I mean, hey, look, if you're going to be an asshole to me, I'm not going to pay attention. I'm not going to talk to you. Bottom line. But I mean, if I see feelings in somebody, I mean, it's just, I mean, I see it. I understand it completely.
I must say that on the Discord, for example, okay, when we have kids come on, because we do have kids come on, 13, 14-year-old children, they come on the Discord to ask questions. They're coming from the viewpoint that the earth is a globe without a doubt, and we're foolish, okay, right. Unbeknown to them, that I've spent 12 and a half years in England working in the youth for disadvantaged children in London. I spent 12 and a half years as a volunteer worker. So I know how to reach the children. And I say to them this, I said, look, you're younger than me at the moment, so you're busy, you're learning it. I've learned it, and then I didn't check it for many years. Suddenly somebody says, hang on, the earth is flat. I said, what do you mean? Let me have a look. I had a look, and indeed it was. You haven't learned that yet because you're uploading at the moment. So please calm down, sit down, and listen. I'm here to help you understand. Ask any question you like. It doesn't matter how foolish you think it is. Just ask it. We are not going to lie to you. We're here to help you, and that's how I kind of like get the children to calm down and then get their questions out without being insulting.
And you're absolutely right.
Yes.
The thing is, I see all of my daughter's friends. I just want to tell them about this, but I can't. I mean, they're doing the the big. Sorry, there's a train passing by right now.
Yes, all right, no worries. Life goes
on. They're doing the FaceTime. You know what that is?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting there. I'm hearing my daughter talk to her friend, and I'm just like, I just want to just come out and lash out and say, hey, look, the earth is flat. Look into it. But I can't. I can't do that. I mean, I'm just. It annoys the hell out of me.
Let me tell you, I told all my children when I found out on Boxing Day, and like I told you, I went through this roller coaster of emotions. First emotion was, what an idiot I've been all these years. How did I miss the clue? Because I'm the man that says, oh, I can hack it in the jungle, in the forest, outdoors. I've proven it. I've done it with my kids, but I missed the clues. Then I felt the fact that my school had misled me or misinformed me, okay, my schools. Okay,
Yes.
and then my last emotion was, right, I'm going to tell everybody. And that's what I've been doing ever since. I went upstairs, told my kids, and they looked at me and I said, I know it sounds crazy, doesn't it? But, I explained to them that NASA tells us, NASA's telling me, and I'm older than you, remember, kids, that I've never seen a map. I've never seen a real globe ever. This is the man that's telling me.
You've never seen a planet.
So if I haven't, you can't have. You can't have seen it because I haven't seen it. He's telling me.
That's right.
That I haven't seen it. So there's no way you could have seen it. Then they went quiet. That makes sense, doesn't it? If I haven't seen it, how could you see it before me? I'm older than you. And he's younger than me, but he's the man that tells us who makes the maps and the globes. He's the man. He's the one that makes the globe we see. Okay, now that. A couple of days later, I spoke to them again. Fast forward to 2017, I think we went to see The Martian with Matt Damon in it. You know, Martian?
Yes.
Where we roast, right. Okay, so they watched that. We went there because my children's friends wanted to go. So I took them in the car. We all went there to the cinema. We watched the movie. And as the credits were coming up, I said, hang on a second, sit down, sit down, sit down. I asked my children, did they go to the moon? No. Can they go to Mars? No. Can they grow vegetables on Mars? No. Okay, let's go then.
No, they just found mushrooms on Mars.
Exactly. I had to break that kind of programming that they would have got there from that. Snap that.
That's great. Yeah.
People were leaving, but I didn't get up. We didn't get up until I actually questioned them to make sure that was a fantasy that we got.
Exactly.
Yeah. Him and his friends. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's what you've got to do. You've got to do that. Yeah.
Yes.
You're not being a killjoy. You're not being a killjoy. You're basically just bringing them back to the reality that, that was a fantasy. Yeah.
Right. That's right. But, yes. And
Well, we are living in a fantasy, aren't we?
yeah,
Well,
that's right.
I'm not. I know it's out there when I open the door, but I'm the only one that's real walking around. That's why when I'm jogging and everybody else is wearing their masks, they must look at me. What is that idiot doing? Oh yeah, right. I'm the idiot looking after my health whilst you're busy believing in the hoax. All right, keep living in your reality. Keep living in your fantasy. Thank you very much.
There you go. You see
I don't mind
exactly.
being the maverick. I'm proud to be a maverick, mate.
No, that's
That's what the Greeks call
awesome.
me. Yeah, my
You know
friend,
what I say?
right?
Power to the
Greek
people.
friend.
That's what I say.
Right.
Hey, you know what? It's not being a maverick. It's being a leader.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
that's
what we
right.
are. Okay.
Yes.
That's all it
I
is.
don't mind being a maverick because my Greek friend.
I don't either.
Yeah, for 15 years, right? My Greek friend's father.
I mean,
he's a barber.
I think Cece's right, really. We don't actually know what shape we are. We don't. But we're definitely not some spinning. We're not some spinning ball floating through space.
Yes.
Right.
We know the Earth is 8 miles roughly in thickness because we've gone down that deep. Russia, 1972, they dug a hole 7.5 miles deep. That's a long way. And then the drill stopped. It couldn't go any further.
But it did take them about 30 years to get.
Yeah, it took exactly, Gary. It took them 30 years to do that.
Yeah.
30 years. I mean, 30 years. I can clean my kitchen in 10 minutes. And it took them 30 years to drill down 8.5 miles.
Do you know what? I think the last 5 miles took them 5 years, and all they kept saying was the bits kept breaking, so they had to do it again. It broke, and then they gave up.
That could have been a serious warning because that could have been a danger in itself to do that on our Earth. That could have set up some sort of calamity we don't know, you see. So that might have been a blessing there, but at least we know we've got 7.5 miles in thickness.
But that's what they told us.
It's level plain. That's all. Yeah, we got a lot
of
they
told us. But you know what? How was I ever going to get to Australia then? You remember that when you were listening, we think you come out of Australia or something.
Yeah,
right.
If you go down feet first, you're going to come out feet first. You're going to come
Hey, Australia exists. Just to let you know, Australia exists. I have comments on there from people from Australians that have left comments, so it does exist. But one other thing is, remember, I'm going to get into a little deep here. All right, remember the Creator. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the Creator. Yeah.
Whoever it may be, he or she, whoever it may be. All right. Did not want us to find all of this. I mean, just think about it. Think about it for a second. I mean, covering an area with a dome, God knows how long it is, okay? And then putting the ocean in there. So if you were to traverse and try to get across and find out where this wall is, and, with animals, I mean, there's the wall. We're all going to ask, who built the wall? What's beyond the wall? I mean, why is it here? But I think the whole intention of the Creator is that we will never figure this wall out. But there is some sort of, I mean, just putting the 2% of ocean and salt into the water, so we cannot go across and drink that water, where all around us is fresh water. I mean, this is all we see. So obviously the Creator didn't seem like he wanted, or she or he, wherever it would be. You know what I mean? I just
Well, I mean, hang on a second, though. Hang on. I do believe that the Creator endowed us with the intellect to learn, right, and advance ourselves, but not to destroy the earth that was made perfect for us. Because when you look around you, it's perfect, isn't it? Until it's been hijacked recently, in recent years. But if we go back, beginning of time, this earth was made perfect, okay? Now, if we are able to go to the Antarctica and find the dome wall, I wouldn't think we was in a prison. I would say this was a perfect home made for us. That's what that is. It's not a prison.
Yeah,
because
absolutely. I agree.
Right. So if you can get to the edge, let's say to the edge of the ice, this ice wall and go beyond and indeed find that wall there, then that proves that, for me, without doubt, proves it was specially made for us. Period. It's not a present.
And it proves a creator. And that's what I tell people. I mean, the whole thing, everybody always says, why? Yeah. To hide the creator. Look at all of this shit that's around us. It's been created for you. Not nobody else. You are so important.
Right.
Everybody is so important here, no matter what you think. You are just so important. And that's, I never believed in God. I thought we were a big bang out of a fucking accident. And that's how I was brought up.
Well,
I've never ever thought we were insignificant.
It's supernaturally made, though, isn't it? I mean, there's no way we can create what's here.
No,
it's supernatural.
Natural. Definitely. In that sense, supernatural, because it is super, it is natural, and I can't make it. So at the age of 6, when I was 6 years old, and I did my first nature science project, whereby we had to collect some ladybugs, get some leaves and that, put it in a jar, paper on top, elastic band, put some food, and just watch. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I felt really bad pulling the leaf off the tree. When I touched the leaf for the first time proper, with my own memory, I remember it being like plasticky, oily, and I knew I couldn't make this thing. And I knew that when I pulled it off, that leaf was going to die and dry. So I said to myself, ever since that day as a kid, I said, I mustn't destroy what I can't make. That's what I've lived for as a kid.
That's lovely. Yes.
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know, I came to that conclusion on my own, by myself.
But it's such a shame, though, isn't it? With like when Jin was his little boy, that he wasn't told the truth and he learnt more of the truth. Imagine what we'd know now.
Yeah, exactly.
In that time that they've spent, they've done an overkill on lying to it. An overkill.
Yes,
the human race has been set back, arrested development, stunted growth. That's what's happened to us at this point.
Exactly.
And they've made everybody narcissistic as well, innit?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Are you kidding me? Absolutely, Karen. You're absolutely right about that. I mean, really? Are you kidding me? I'm not only... All right. Just look at the technology, okay? I mean, we have a car that came out in 1910, okay? Right. The Model T vehicle hasn't changed a bit.
Henry Ford.
Electric.
Exactly. Hasn't changed a
I think the
bit.
First World War, Tartaria buildings to destroy things like the technology on mobile phones, which they already had in the 40s. It was to destroy all these things. And then, I don't mean to, like, Amy knows, because I started to research and do things, and I was just so shocked that basically, when Napoleon was around, we sort of did this exodus from Europe. It didn't matter which country you were from, but Holland did seem to be very refined, much more refined than anywhere else. Anyway, we did this exodus over to America, and when we get there, they say, right, well, you've got viruses, and you've got this, we're quarantining you. They took the children. And that's exactly what Hitler did. He was part of the same thing. So they're destroying the buildings, destroying the technology, taking the children. Wars are about all those kind of things.
And an adventure to make money. It's a business adventure as well.
It comes out of that 57 million they've taken from NASA.
Yes.
Every day, $8 out of your paycheck.
Yeah.
They've got to pay for this somehow.
And what are they doing with it? They're not going anywhere.
Right.
Well, they're making television. They're making the fake videos. They're making the fake wars.
And then they're lining their pockets. They've got nice houses, sports cars. They've got their pensions sorted out.
Businesses. They've all got businesses.
For the rest of their lives.
And the
Books
because you know what? Because this person I had a hangout the other day. What they were saying was, I worked on a military base, but what's basically his family did. But what basically is so it's like the president, right? Basically, he's got family and members, and they've got businesses, and when they farm it out to their families. So wars are good because then they can farm things out to their families.
War is rich. They make money off of wars. I mean, they really do.
We are the people. We are the people who pay the taxes for that war, and we are the people who die in that war.
That's right.
We die in that war. So
and it's a monopoly.
On that note, if you're a flat earther or anyone who believes in the flat earth, there is no way you're considering voting in your elections coming up in November, because all you're going to be doing is voting for your enslavement and your imprisonment at this point.
That's right.
Yeah, what they do is they disguise it with this word democracy, but what they really mean is communism.
Dictatorship. Yes. Communist dictatorship is what they mean.
Yes.
Yeah. And in my country, you know, it's already written at this point. Trump's going to be reelected no matter whether you like it or not. And I can care less, as I have no politician or politics and no say in anything, because I've never voted ever in my life. And I don't care to, because I know it's already been chosen. These people have been chosen.
What about all this thing they've been doing about that impeachment and then Nancy Pelosi, all that, and then she ripped up that thing, and then the next thing was, well, she could be going to prison now because she ripped up. And it's like, we're watching this. This is like a comedy.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? It is comedy. It is theater.
Exactly. It's news. It gets people talking, but they're all puppets. That's all they are. They're puppets, and actors. I mean, it's fine. Look, let them run whatever they are, but they're not running anything,
right?
As far as I'm concerned.
But that's fine. That's something I just recently woke up to. Really, I was kind of still in that mode of voting and you know, believing in that system. But
no, it's
you
no
know,
good.
again, Karen has really she's just really helped me so much to see everything.
Because you just reminded me, Amy, isn't it?
Karen will do that.
I looked at Boris, right, and you can see this cameraman standing there, and he's like the size of a tree. And then he's got in front little tiny Boris, the size of like a Monopoly piece game. And there he is, on a road 2 cars wide, making it look like he's in a field.
Right, that's right. That was one.
And the tree was moving all weird around him, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" So they obviously, you know, Boris was always going to win with an 80-seat majority. You know, it's just pathetic.
Right. I know. And I did read years ago that, you know, we don't elect anybody. It's all selected for us. And when I read that, it rang true to me. I heard that little truth thing go off.
It's all in the genes. It's everything. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, you literally, if you look at the last names of these people, and every presidency, you can see it's all the way. I mean, you can see all of this. It's just,
and they always do the same, don't they? When they come in, they go, "Well, we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that," and they don't do any of those. They don't exactly the same as the ones before.
There is a video you can watch, ladies and gents, and anybody who's listening. It's called Vote Scam. Vote Scam. The Stealing of America. It's like 52 minutes long.
Okay.
Revelation.
Yes.
It's called Vote Scam. Vote Scam, The Stealing of America by James Collier. Okay. He's an investigative journalist. With his brother, they spent 25 years looking into the voting system and how it's rigged. That's all. Once you watch, you will never, ever, ever vote again. You won't. You will know it's a waste of time. Okay?
Right.
Now, Vote Scam, The Stealing of America. Okay? You've got to watch that. It's a must watch for every citizen on this earth. Literally.
Wow. Yes.
Okay, his last name is Collier?
Yeah, James Collier. James Collier. Okay. He did 2 good videos. He did that Vote Scam, and the other one is called Was It Only a Paper Moon? The Moon Landing Hoax. And he goes through like a forensic scientist, okay? And he tells you step by step how it's impossible to go to the moon. It's brilliant. Those 2. Vote Scam, right? Vote Scam. The Stealing of America.
Yes.
Right? James Collier.
Thank you.
And your votes are being stolen. Your votes are being diddly. You are just going through the motions. The system is rigged, computerized rigging. Okay? That's that. And then the moon landing one is called Was It Only a Paper Moon? James Collier.
Yes.
Investigative journalist from the Victoria House.
Yes, thank you.
I like to call myself a walking internet.
You are, yeah.
Come to me.
Ask
If
Jin.
internet goes down, you come to me and I'll give you what you need to know.
Okay.
Oh,
Now I
that's
have two things
awesome.
to add, if I can.
Yeah.
One, the voting machines apparently here in the U.S. And I think in every country are a patented machine, and you can't actually figure out. I mean, you can't go in there and look at it because it's totally blocked off. Okay.
Right.
These machines don't have any information at all how they were built.
Right. There you are.
You know, there's nothing, there's no background of where exactly these are going, and most of them are not electronic at all.
Do you know what I think it is? Do you know what I think it is, though, Cece? I think that whoever the Tataria people were, a lot of this thing with telephones, all this, you know, the internet, like, Jin is in Japan, Amy and I'm in England, and you're in America. There's no time delay between us. How can that be?
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I love the time delay. I love the time delay. I love the seasons. You know, everybody always brings that up. You know, with flat Earth. You know, oh no, we live on a globe. No, you don't understand that. Because of the time zones, it's a local sun.
Yes.
It's so obvious.
Yeah, and
if
at
it was
the moment,
pardon
Cece,
my French,
you're only 4 hours behind at the moment for another 2 weeks.
Yeah. No. We stepped ahead. We did that.
This
you know,
weekend,
whatever.
I think they're 5 hours behind, aren't they? 5 hours?
No,
usually,
but
5 hours.
right now, because they put their clocks forward, they're only 4 hours behind us now.
Okay, so now you're 4 hours behind. Thank you for that. On the East Coast. What about the
How
West
can that
Coast?
happen if we're a globe? How can you be ahead of us and change and all that? Like, what the hell?
Right.
I know, but it just seems so. Look at the moon right now. I mean, the moon is as bright almost as the sun. I mean, it's almost full. Just look up. Look at it. It's amazing. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, it feels like I'm looking at the sun at this point right now. I mean, you realize somebody landed on that moon and took pictures?
Played golf, drove their buggies on it.
I mean, it's just so obvious. Okay, now back to what I was talking about before, about the last name Collier.
Yeah, Collier.
Now that struck, yes, that struck a nerve, because there was a person, Alex Collier, when I was indoctrinated, who was this idiot that he said that, well, not you don't know yet. I'll tell you right now. Said he was taken up by the Andromeda galaxy, and he had aliens meet him in his backyard and all that stuff. So the last name Collier really rings the bell for me.
Right.
Okay, I'll look that up.
Yeah. It's called vote scam.
It's crazy, isn't it? The indoctrination, just absolutely crazy.
Exactly. I mean, let's go back to the ISS just for.
Well, I lost you. Oh no.
I'm sure
are we distant?
No, we're here. Yeah.
Okay.
Amy's not here. Amy's just dropped off. She should be back in a second.
She might have, maybe her phone's gone out or something, and she gets a bit of internet problems. But carry on. She'll come back.
Yeah, right. So basically, on the ISS, right? I think we're going back to 2017, where a young boy asked the guy on the ISS, why did he want to become an astronaut and that, right? And then the astronaut talks about his schooling and how he didn't like English, he didn't like reading and all that. But I'm okay now, I can read now. But when he finishes what he was saying, and he says, and all that happened in a small town called Maine, where we're talking to you right now. Where we're talking from you right now. And that video is called Astronaut Slips Up, okay?
There you go.
ISS Astronaut Slips Up. That one is a gem. It's a gem of a video.
Do you know what? When I did one on Sun and Moon, but I put it on Unscrambled, the guy's doing his walkie-talkie thing, up there in the space station, and he's going at 17,000 miles an hour, and there's no time delay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, that is.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, Karen. I mean, they've given that up at this point. I mean, there's absolutely no time delay now. I mean, they're talking, live to somebody. 8 minutes. Is it 8 minutes? I think it's 8 minutes or 7 minutes. It should be. Time delay. And there's nothing at all. They're actually reacting to the questions on the ISS.
I actually said in my video, if you look, the only time delay there is how long it takes for the astronaut to answer back.
Split seconds. You know what I mean?
Jeez, it gets this bad.
NASA astronaut slips up is the video, right? It's only 3 minutes less. It's another gem because he reveals himself from where we're talking to you from right now. A little town in Maine, right? And when you show that to people, the heliocentric model believers, globe heads we call them, they always make some kind of excuse. They go, no, you can't make an excuse for that. Sorry, unacceptable.
Now I'm going to say, look back. Okay, look back to when you were indoctrinated, before you woke up. Okay, easy. Would you ever look at a live ISS feed? No. Why would you care? I mean, why would you care?
You know what? I wanted to look at it, but I didn't have the means. I did have an interest. I was interested in space. Remember, I came from the generation that they went to the moon. I was 7 years old, about to be 8 years old when they went. Yeah. So I had the interest. I didn't have the means. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying that's how they get away with this. Is that nobody's looking at this. They're not looking at it. You're right, though. The only people that are looking at this are flat earthers at this point. That were just tearing it apart. I mean, that's the funny thing about it is that I would have never looked at an ISS feed. What the hell do I care about somebody up in space that'll never go?
You're getting it correct. You're absolutely correct because when like during the 90s and that, okay, when they supposedly found these new planets and Earth-like what do you call it, galaxies and stuff, it just went over my head. Oh, really?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't it? Yeah. Why wouldn't it? I mean, I didn't care about that stuff. Oh, another planet? They're actually, I just heard the other day that there's actually a meteor that's here on Earth that Earth captured. Is that true? I just heard about that the other day. I'm gonna have to look this up on the internet. There's some. The Earth actually captured a meteor, and now it's out there, and it's going to go away in about a month. Can you please look this up? I don't know. I have no idea. I just heard about this on the Space Channel on Discovery, and apparently the Earth captured a meteor. It's a second moon that they're calling it this. I'm gonna have to look this up, and I'll verify it. Just look it up. Try to find it.
I just wonder what NASA are planning to do, though, because if you go to their, first of all, they're into what's it called? Oh, I've just forgotten the name. They're actually into they're into psychology and everything. NASA. It's on. They actually put it up. It comes up on some of the stations that it's programmed by this, and it's all to do with I've forgotten what the wording's called now, but it's all to do with psychology and how to control. It's all about using the people. It is it's so disgusting. It's just incredible what they've managed to do. It's so horrible to do this. It's treason. I can't think of any other word that it's treason.
Tyranny. Tyrannic. That's what I think.
put it on the channel. It's so annoying. I forget what it's called now. It's just, it's mind control. And then they've got a program where they actually want to come down and they want to do flights on Earth and the whole thing. So I thought, oh my God, NASA are coming down here to take over. And
they laugh, don't they?
it's just incredible. And like it's just happening in front, and I just don't think people are noticing it enough.
No, they don't. I remember, right? Whilst we were growing up and that, you get these kind of space news once in 3 months, 6 months, but now they're coming every day. Every other day, something in space. They're panicking. They have to push the space now.
That's what they have to do. They've got to push this every day. Something's coming out of NASA. I mean, it's just every day they have to do something, and that's mind control, like you said, and that's really
that's damage control. That's damage control.
Well, you know, there you go, damage control.
It's damage control, man. That's what that
Hey,
is.
look, the internet brought all of this out. If it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't be talking to any of you. I would have never known you.
Absolutely.
Okay,
right,
I mean, they brought this out for some reason or another. I can't believe how many friends I've made. You know, I mean,
too.
I can't.
It's just wonderful. I mean,
so the thing we hate is what we're using to talk on. It is weird, isn't it?
I know.
It,
it's the technology we hate it. It's the only way we can talk to each other. I could never talk to you. I mean, both of you.
It would cost a lot of money. It would cost a lot of money.
I mean, we're here free talking to each other, and we're connected. And that's the most important part. And that's the whole thing. I mean, we're just, they invented, they created all of this for us to.
I think they're getting fed up. They're winning hands down, and they want to make a bit more of a game of it. So they're giving us some tools to bring on the fight, you know?
Yeah.
They want to fight.
We're gonna. Well, they're probably figuring out who the warriors are, and we're the warriors.
And I've been very vocal because all that's come out of my mouth is revolution, because that's what we have to do. That's what's going to happen.
But it's coming. It's coming. I don't know when, but it's definitely.
The saddest part is that there was probably this revolution in the late 1800s or something. There was something, even if it's the middle 1800s, but the Tartaria people, and we were a lot more advanced then, and we've lost it all. We've gone backwards. That's the sad bit. They're telling us about technology and they're moving us forward, but we're not really going forward. We had it all then, and what's happened?
I agree.
Exactly, Karen. I spoke. All this technology was already invented. Yeah. I mean, it was already here. I mean, look. Damn. This is going to be another 2-hour conversation.
Easily.
Literally, easy. I mean, it's just so much here in New York. I mean, you see it with the buildings. You see it with New York City itself. Fuck. I mean,
I saw it through Boston as well.
I have thought of a few things, because again, I put a video out the other day, because often we're looking at it, but I decided to, I'm looking at the videos, and I decided to look at it, and I put in mud floods, and then this sort of, what do you call it? It was like in the middle, it was somewhere in like Japan or China or somewhere like that. Oh, that's Amy. She's sorry, but she's got to. I think she's going to have her dinner. Now she's got.
Yeah, no, I have to have dinner.
Yeah, we will have to end soon. But
I already got bitched at.
Oh, what was I saying? I've forgotten now.
Yeah.
Mudflood.
Oh yeah, I looked it up, and there's basically this place you can book excursions to, where it says that this volcano erupted and buried this town, and these houses are buried into the ground without breaking them, without breaking the walls, without breaking the doors, without breaking the windows, without breaking the glass. And then I think, wow, how is that just the roof is basically sticking out? Then we've got the same sort of thing happening in America, but when they dig the pavements away, when you look at the window down below, the wood is not rotten, the glass is still there. How can that be when it's been like that for 100 and something years? What the hell is this?
Yeah. I totally agree with you, love, because
it's like this is like a game we're in. It's like we're in the Game of Thrones.
No, man, you know what? You're right. I stopped playing video games back in Pac-Man era. But you're absolutely right, Karen. I mean, it's just that's where we are right now. I mean, we're trying to make sense of this.
That's what's happened.
Fuck.
That's what it is. That's all it is they've sunk. It's just, I just don't know what this is. It's like, if you try to explain this to someone, you're talking about a horror movie or something.
Yeah, or you need to go to a nut house even, Put you in an asylum.
We're not mad. We're not mad, though.
I know, we're not. No, we're not at all. We're not mad. We are so on point. We're so razor sharp, cutting edge. They're so indoctrinated. It's unbelievable. Because once you become a flat earther and you understand what's going on, you see the world for what it is. And the flat earth is the card that pulls the rest of the cards down. The house of cards. It's the one you pull out and the rest just comes crumbling down. Doesn't it?
Exactly. I mean, it's just so, and it's funny because it's so delicate,
Jenga.
isn't it?
You know Jenga? You just put it on the block. There you go.
There she is. She's back. Amy's back.
Hey, that was a
Oh, sorry about that.
What's that?
I thought he'd gone off to dinner.
Hey, Amy.
Liquid dinner. She had a
I
liquid
lost
dinner.
my connection. I couldn't get back in.
Welcome
I
back.
don't know what happened.
Welcome.
Oh, so I had to miss whatever you were saying. Darn.
We've just been laughing again, Amy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
Because when you're talking about it, it's like
some dinner. Were you not going to have some dinner?
no. She just lost her connection. I thought she was
Yeah.
going to go off to dinner and that, but she didn't. She's come back.
Oh, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't just leave without
off to
telling
dinner.
anybody.
We have been going for about 2 hours now. I know that everybody's got things. Yeah, things
Is
to
that
do.
2 hours now? Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I
Jesus.
know.
You see how quickly it's just like, I just got, okay, yeah, 2 hours. Easy.
Well, we've had a bit of a
Okay.
laugh
Never get
tonight,
started.
haven't we? It's been a
Started.
very jolly hangout tonight, guys.
Yes.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody. I must admit.
Oh,
it's very good.
cheers, Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to go on
Cheers,
for
my
5
brother.
more?
Yes.
You go on
Do you
for
want to
another
go
10
on for
minutes.
5 more
Another
minutes,
10
or
more,
do you
10
want to?
minutes,
Do you
yeah.
want 10 more minutes, and then we finish? Well, should I come to like ask you to? Well, we're coming to the end. So, Jin, what's your thoughts on our hangout today?
Oh, today's hangout was absolutely marvellous. Nice to meet Mr. CC. I've seen
Oh.
him on the YouTube, always in his car. I'm like, where does he live, this guy? Always in his car. But
He's
always
not in
on
his
point.
car right now, though.
Yeah, always on point. Fantastic. Nice to meet Amy B. Is that? Yeah.
Oh, so
I'm glad
nice.
to meet your acquaintance.
So
And
nice
hopefully I'll
to
meet you
meet
both
you
again
too.
soon. Karen,
Yes,
lovely as usual.
definitely.
Pass on my respects to what's her name? Patricia. Onegaishimasu, please.
Yeah, thank
Patricia.
you.
Right.
Oh, is she there?
So thanks you. Excellent.
No, she's not
My
here.
name's Jin,
But
Jin
thanks a lot.
CBR1.
Thanks, Jin. That's very sweet of you. What
Oh,
about
yes,
you, Cece?
Jen.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Amy. What about you, Jin? I mean, Cece.
Don't get me started.
We've had a good laugh tonight. You've made me laugh loads, you know.
I can't believe how fast time passes when we talk about all of this.
I
And
know.
I'm just so glad that we all can meet. You know, I mean, that's wouldn't be allowed any other way, else we would have to pay a lot of money.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know, I mean, I'm just so glad. I hate the technology. I hate the big companies that are out there, but the truth is out there, and we're all talking to each other.
Yes.
Yeah,
And we're spreading the truth.
Research. Do your own research. Think.
Yes.
Please
Definitely.
think and do your research, for crying out loud.
Yeah, look into it,
It's
folks.
best
Look
to
into
do your own research, though, isn't it? Rather than listening to that lie vision, because that whatever it is, the computer,
Yeah.
the television,
Most
it's so much better when you do your own, because then you know
Yeah.
there's something wrong.
Yeah.
That's
Take
right.
advantage of the seasons. Take advantage of the seasons and
Well-
do something outdoors through spring, summer,
Yes.
autumn, winter.
Absolutely.
Get out
Yeah.
there and look at Mother Nature and upload all the clues, because that's where it's at. Okay? That's where you're going to learn about
Yes.
yourself.
Well
You know
said.
what? This thing we're in, even if we can't prove it all, we know. We just know. Amy said
just-
this. We had this instinct.
We do have the
know.
capability.
We know.
That's right.
We do have the capabilities of proving it. We have the capabilities. Unfortunately, at the moment, the earth has been hijacked and the military are keeping us enslaved. That's what the powers are doing, okay, at the moment. But we have the capabilities of finding out. That day will come later on in the future. It will happen, for sure.
That's right.
Because as they say,
Absolutely. Well
the
said.
tube is out of the paste. The tube is out of the paste. And the paste is out of the tube, sorry. The paste is out of the tube and you ain't getting that back in.
That's right.
You're
Well
right about that. But
said.
you know what? It was out of the bag. Even like, David Wise, he went to the hospital where his mum in. I interviewed this woman who was in her 80s or 90s. She said she
100
grew
years
up.
old,
She
102.
grew up that we were on
Yes.
a flat.
Oh, exactly. Oh, don't get me started with this. Damn, another hour conversation with this.
That was the best video. I saw
That
that.
was
That
Yeah, I
was
saw
terrific.
that. She's
awesome.
100
I'm sorry.
102 years old. She was 102.
Yes.
Born in
Yes.
1918, I
Yeah, so
believe.
they just omitted it for about 20 years, and then everybody, like Amy's sister, thinks it's medieval.
Exactly.
I-
No. Karen, they've killed a generation of people.
Yes.
I mean, at
Yes.
some point or another, they switched over, and that's where they created this entire
Yeah, and there's
fantasy.
something with that digital. Digital's supposed to be really good, but very often on our Hangouts, the picture quality, the videos, they're so terrible on the news, everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, horrible,
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
How can that
I
be
knew
digital?
they were ripping. Yeah. When they
I
said
think
get rid of the
digital
TVs
meant
and that.
something else to them. I don't know what it meant, but it meant something else they'd done to us, or doing, or using. That's what it meant.
Yeah, in
yes.
1918, they were still teaching, apparently, people about. Sorry, somebody's walking in the park at this time of night here. Whatever.
Yeah, well, got to go after health.
I'm sorry. I don't want to wake you up at all. They're just walking along like little drones. Okay. Let me get back to what I was saying. But apparently, in 1914, they were actually teaching the children about flat Earth at that point, and then they switched over. I don't know what year. I have no idea. I mean,
I actually think what I think is we were going electric cars, electric vans. We had other things,
exactly,
and then
exactly,
the world wars were to kill it all.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
And then we've got petrol, oil, television, going to the moon, the globe.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Tesla comes out with this electric car now, and this is a major breakthrough. Are you kidding me? They came out with this in 1920.
Elon Musk. Yeah.
You know, I mean, really. I mean, they had this in 1920. They broke it down in 1920. Look, this is all about where we live right now is all about money. That's all it is. Oil.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know.
And again, if anybody's interested on that, what you just said there's a video called "Who Killed the Electric Car?" Right?
Back in
Who killed the electric car?
1985.
Number one
exactly.
and number two. Part one and part two. Two full-length movie documentaries. You watch that and you think, wow, man, how did they rip us off? Right?
Yeah.
It's about the EV1, the electric car. The perfect car was made.
EV1, exactly, my friend. Exactly. It was totally, and they, you know what? You couldn't even buy that car with cash. It was a
lease. You could only
lease.
rent it. You could not buy
Yeah.
it.
You could only rent it, and they took it all away.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
there it is. Okay, look.
Who killed the electric car?
But you know what? If this whole thing where they took it out that 20 years, and like Amy's sister thinks it's something archaic and all that, that's just what they've done. They just omitted it for 10, 20 years, so that when it comes out again, people think, "What's this?" But it was never. It was there. They just made sure it was omitted. Maybe it was 9/11 was part of that, because everybody got so into 9/11, and then the fallout of that. We were looking at all that while they're deleting everything.
Yes.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
They're
can't do
changing
it
our
fast
history
enough.
all the time.
They can't
Right.
do
I
it
mean,
quick
you know
enough.
what? So yesterday, right, Gary, a friend of mine, got in touch with me, or the other day, and he told me about a double-decker train that we had running here, supposedly from 1949 to 1971, but none of us remember it.
I know.
So we don't remember it.
A double-decker train back in 1949. That's like unheard of.
I know that maybe in the US, but no, wow, that's amazing.
Not in the US.
It was
Maybe not in Japan. Maybe not another. But like to have a double, and basically they said it was only 6 inches bigger than the ordinary carriage, and you're like, well, I've never heard of this before.
right.
No,
Me either.
I'm trying to pitch. I did a project on trains as well, and that never came up on my project.
That's what I mean.
Wow.
It's just this is what I mean. They're just changing our history all the time.
Yeah. I did it in the 70s. I did a project on transportations, planes, ships, cars, and trains.
But it's not going to affect us, is it? You know, like we understand that, but give another 50 years, or Ellie's children, they're going to believe there was a double-decker train in 1949 if they look.
I know. That's what's So the history is just completely changed.
Yes.
They just rewrite everything over and over and
Yeah,
over again.
whoever won,
It's unbelievable. They
whoever
can
wins
say whatever the hell they
war,
want, and the
whoever
teachers will teach it.
whoever wins the wars
Oh,
writes
the Earth's
history, and they
atmosphere.
totally
The
lied
Earth's
about our
atmosphere is
history.
around the moon now,
Yes.
isn't it? The Earth's atmosphere extends as far as the moon now.
Well, it would do, wouldn't it? Because it's only up there about a mile away.
Yeah, I know. They're only just admitting it now, though, aren't they? Didn't admit it before.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, I heard that. That's what it is.
Yeah, right.
It's just so annoying.
It is.
it is, isn't it? To do that to the people. Amy, what was your closing words? Because we've been going now for 2 hours, over 2 hours. But we could go up. We're a good combination, I think. We've had some good laughs today.
Yes,
Yeah,
we have.
really interesting.
Well, it's just been an awesome hangout. I'm so glad that we were all able to do it and meet Jen and Cece, and it's just been an awesome hangout. And I did, yeah, you're welcome. And I just really love to hear everybody's journey and their opinions about everything. And it's really cool to be able to talk with them. People that are in the same minds, have the same mindset, and understand, and we like to listen and just understand each other, and we can talk things out and laugh about it, and that we're just awake, and we're trying to help other people wake up. But it's great we have our community that we share the same ideas, and we're just try to be kind and accepting of everyone, and it's just been really great talking to you guys, and I'm so glad we were able to have this hangout.
Yeah.
Even though I
Hopefully
kept
be
getting
another one
kicked
next
out.
month, maybe.
And it's like we've included like most of the place we live in, Japan to America.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it's
so
unbelievable.
cool.
A continental international conference call. I mean,
Yeah, man.
I mean, it really is.
But we're all on the same page.
That's
We're all on
right.
the
Yes.
same page.
I
Yeah.
know. It's very
And
cool.
I always find it really crazy because we're all in different time zones, but we're all together.
Yeah.
Yes. I
So you
know.
want to
It
do this one again,
is.
Karen? You
Hey?
might want to do another one, a part two.
Yeah.
To be continued.
Oh, should we do that then? Should we end right now, and we'll say goodbye to each other when I finish recording? But I'll just say goodbye on air. I'd like to say thank you very much, Amy B.
Oh, you're welcome.
Cece.
Thank you.
Jin.
Thank you,
and the
Karen.
chat room.
Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you out in Japan.
Oh,
Out there.
yes.
Nice one, CC, Amy.
Oh,
Wicked.
lovely
Amy.
meeting you, Jen and Cece. It was
Yeah.
lovely
Anyway,
meeting
don't
you.
run off.
Amy,
We'll say goodbye
look
on
out
this
for
hangout.
Marilyn's spirit level. Marilyn's spirit level.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, we'll just say goodbye on air, but we'll say goodbye to each other when I finish recording. But for this recording, I've thoroughly enjoyed this hangout.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Me too. Thank
Bye-bye,
you.
everyone. Hope to see you
Bye,
soon again.
everyone.
Oh, thank you.
Bye,
And I hope everybody
everyone.
in the chat rooms enjoyed it too. Anyway, thank you.
Chat
Yes.
room. Okay, chat room.
Bye, everyone.
Chat room.
Sorry, I forgot to mention them. Sorry, chat room.
I have no idea who's in the chat room.
It's a big good night from us. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is. It's morning for Jin.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
Yes.
Wherever you may be.
In this place we live. But thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Karen.
In this wonderful, supernatural place we live in. Anyway,
that's right.
That's been hijacked and we're in prison, but okay.
Okay, all right, don't get me started with that. Another 2-hour conversation.
Again, yes.
Crying out loud. All right, don't start.
Oh, thank you so much, everybody.
Oh, thank you, Karen, and everyone.
Yeah, bye from us. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, that was really good.